What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast and this video is coming out a day later than I was hoping for, but I can finally showcase Shadow Palkia in the Color Cup. Now for the Open Great League, I don't think this Pokemon is much more than a fun meme pick. However, for the Color Cup, this thing can put in so much work and is genuinely worth building. In fact, in just 6 sets, I was able to gain 300 ELO, and granted I started well below my typical skill level after having used the highest attack weighted team possible for the Color Cup, which you can view right here, as well as using the 3 elemental monkeys in Simipour, Simisit, and Simisage that actually went so badly I just scrapped the video entirely, but even despite that, it's still an impressive climb. As you guys know, I love running Triple Dragon, so this team pretty much picked itself, with Turtonator in the lead, Shadow Palkia as the safe swap, and Shadow Alone Executor as the closer. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Which Shadow Legendary Pokemon are you most looking forward to releasing in the future of Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. So going into the first battle, leading Turtonator into a Shadow Palkia. So we're definitely going to swap. I'm actually not going to swap into my safe swap of the Shadow Palkia this time around, just because behind on energy, we're definitely going to be losing that matchup. So we swap into Executor. Not great, as we're met with a Whimsicott. Honestly, did not see many Fairy in this meta. However, it's not looking too good for us so far. We're going to come in with the Turtonator. I'm actually going to use my shield here, as I realize we've got that Palkia pretty low to the point where if we come in and we try to snipe with a few Dragon Breaths, I can probably take them out before they even reach an Aqua Tail, and we're able to do so. And the opponent's got a Skeledirge in the back, and this is huge for us. Shadow Palkia, of course, double resisting the Incinerate damage. We're actually still taking quite a lot of damage here, but I will be able to reach back-to-back Aqua Tails before they farm me down. And of course, Turtonator still has a Charge Move already loaded. I technically would live anything they throw here. However, I'm going to use my shield anyways, just to play it safe. Fire off the Dragon Pulse, and of course, Dragon Pulse from this range will be taking out the Skeledirge, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG swap over there into the next battle. We're going to see Turtonator into a Shadow Quagsire. So, going to save swap into the Shadow Palkia, and the opponent's going to stay in for quite a while before swapping and coming in with a Charge Bug, and this is absolutely fine with me. I think I have farmed up 2 back-to-back Aqua Tails here, so we fire off the first one. We're actually 1 away, and I tried to just throw on CMP there, although the opponent does not throw immediately there, and I could have maybe overfarmed just slightly. However, it does not matter, as now we can just safely shield. The Dragon Breath will be taking out the Charge Bug. I'm able to flip switch advantage, and yes, they do still have quite a lot of energy on the Shadow Quagsire, so I will definitely respect the damage here. The opponent full sends the Stone Edge, meaning I can Dragon Tail, farm them down. The opponent forced to swap out there into their final Pokemon, which is Typhlosion. We stay in initially, get off a few Dragon Tails before swapping into the hardest wall for Typhlosion in Turtonator, resisting or double resisting everything they can possibly throw. We can go for a full Incinerate, farm down, come out with so much loaded energy, 100 energy in fact, fire off the Dragon Pulse immediately, and at this point the opponent recognizing there's nothing they can do, so they let the move go through, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG swap on there into next battle, see Macargo in the lead, so again, safe swapping into the Shadow Palkia, and we're met with a Ferrothorn. So, of course, Ferrothorn going to be walling everything we can throw here, unless I was running Fire Blast. However, I'm not going to reach a Fire Blast anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But what I want to do in this matchup is grab a shield back from the opponent, so I shield the first charge move. I've now put them into range where an Aqua Tail will get the KO, and technically in the 2-shield scenario, I could just go for a full Dragon Breath farm down, but at this point I've actually put them into range where we can come in with the Alolan Executor, of course double resist the Bullet Seed damage, go for a full Dragon Tail farm down, and come out 1 away from a Seed Bomb. The opponent comes in with Credilli, so instead of throwing the Seed Bomb, we are farming to the Draco Meteor, full sending it, and Draco Meteor gets the 1-shot. They come back in with Macargo. I'm going to swap out here, catch the charge route. I'm going to shield anyways. However, because I swapped out there, we get a full Incinerate in as we swap, and now I can actually throw a Dragon Pulse on the CMP tie, winning CMP. They have debuffed my attack, however, it's still going to do respectable damage. The opponent no shields because Alolan Executor will be able to deal more damage, but it's game over. Rock Tomb, unfortunately, while super effective, doesn't hit very hard. The opponent has to go for a full Incinerate farm down. They realize it's not going to happen, so they just concede the match. So, GG swap on there into next battle, see Shadow Whiscash in the lead. Again, gonna safe swap into my Shadow Palkia, and the opponent responds with a Credilli. And this is actually a matchup where Shadow Palkia ahead on energy will be able to very comfortably win this, as the opponent no shields the first charge move. I'm definitely gonna shield right now. The opponent full sends a Grass. I think, honestly, Rock Slide would have been enough damage there, and, I mean, it doesn't really matter unless they got damage registration error. They wouldn't have made it to a second Rock Slide. However, we come out with the Aqua Tail loaded, we fire it off, and we grab a shield back instantly. We've also flip switch advantage, which means we can come in with the Alolan Exeggutor. The opponent reveals their final Pokemon to be a Shadow Alolan Marowak. I'm going to bank a Seed Bomb, however, because I swapped out so slowly there, they will actually be able to just barely outpace me to another charge move. So at this point, I'm definitely going to shield. However, what I can do now is just farm up to 100 energy. Of course, these fire spins are double resisted. They are not doing much damage whatsoever. Dragon Pulse, I expect to be no shielded. However, one more Incinerate allows us to reach a second Dragon Pulse, and I'm just one move away from a Seed Bomb on the Exeggutor. I can come in with the Exeggutor, snipe with the Seed Bomb gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there into the next battle. We can see Turtonator into a Unnovan Stunfisk. So again, gonna say swap into Shadow Palkia. This is a little bit awkward for us, just because, of course, Mud Bomb or even a Discharge is gonna do neutral damage here, and it would do quite a lot of damage. And then they come in with Azumarill. This is not a Pokemon I expected to see. And unfortunately, they will resist or double resist everything we can throw here, which is definitely not ideal for us. However, this Shadow Palkia is putting in work right now. We fire off a second Aqua Tail, get them into the yellow health range, and they overfarm, allowing me to make it to a third Aqua Tail. And Aqua Tail number 3 gets them into the deep red health range, which is insane for resisted damage and double resisted Dragon Breath damage as well. It actually puts them into range where we can come in with the Turtonator. I can no-shield anything here and go for a full resisted Incinerate farm down, which is perfect. Hydro Pump does big damage, but we tank it. They come back in with the Stunfisk. I'm going straight for the Overheat right now. Overheat is going to be shielded by the opponent. We swap into Exeggutor, and they've got a Ferrothorn in the back. And unless they're running Flash Cannon or Mirror Shot, I will double resist most things they throw, except they're actually on Acid Spray, which does make things slightly more complicated. So I'm going to fire for Draco Meteor here. This is resisted damage, but it just doesn't matter. It gets the one shot, although I'm now debuffed in my defense and my attack by 2 stages. I'm going to shield this. I can see my switch clock is coming up in time, but unfortunately, it just barely wasn't up by the time I clicked there. So instead of actually swapping out, I end up throwing an extra fast move, and that is costly for me. Honestly, if I just threw a Seed Bomb there, I could have grabbed the shield, and then I would have been fine. The opponent would have been forced to throw a Charge Move, and we were just one Incinerate away from the next Charge Move. Or if I just waited like half a turn there, clicked on the swap there, I would have been absolutely fine. But either way, unfortunately, it ends up costing me. So GG's to opponent there. Into the next battle, though, we see a Credilli in the lead. I can take a Rock Slide pretty comfortably. If they're running Stone Edge, honestly, I think we probably do still tank that. However, it is going to be a lot less comfortable for us. But now we're going to swap into our Shadow Palkia. Going to use my shield as they fire off the Grass Knot once again, and they swap into more Peko. Now we're going to go straight for the Aqua Tail here. Aqua Tail, of course, should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, and it does do that. So at this point, happy to let the Palkia go down. We can come in with our Alolan Exeggutor, and they have just boosted up their attack. They will just barely be able to reach a Dark Aura Wheel, so I'm definitely going to shield this. This will easily one-shot us. However, now we can go for the full Dragon Tail farm down, and let's see, the opponent comes in with a Talonflame. I'll be able to make it to the Draco Meteor, and of course, again, Draco Meteor will absolutely one-shot the Talonflame. They come back in with the Credilli, and they're actually able to make it to a Charge Move slightly sooner than I was expecting. However, it will not matter. Rockside gets the KO. 2 more Incinerates from the Turtonator, take out Credilli, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's to up in there into the next battle. We see Turtonator into a Shadow Credilli once again. So, once again, going to stay in here. We're going to do slightly more damage here, and they're going to do slightly more damage with the Rock Slide. However, I still will be able to tank one fairly comfortably, although they've actually farmed up to a potential Stone Edge. So, I'm still just going to no-shield anyways, as the opponent does just go for a Rock Slide there, and then they swap into a Shadow Swampert. So, I'm actually going to go for a Dragon Pulse, hoping to grab the final shield. They actually no-shield that, but it doesn't really matter. We can come in with Exeggutor. I will be able to tank this, as it's just a double resisted Hydro Cannon there. They then come in with a Talonflame, and honestly, I should probably just commit to the Draco Meteor here. The opponent going for that full Incinerate farm down, but Seed Bomb grabs the final shield anyways, and things are looking fine. However, they do actually get quite a nice farm down there, so we're going to come in with the Shadow Palkia. They throw straight away. I believe they're 1 Incinerate away from the next Charge Move, so we are going to swap, catch the Charge Move onto my Turtonator, and that should be the game wrapped up right now. They full send the Brave Bird. They swap back into Credilli. I'm actually able to make it to the Aqua Tail, so I just throw it straight away. Aqua Tail gets the KO there. We can just Dragon Breath, farm down the Talonflame, so the opponent just concedes the match there. So GG top and there into next battle, we see Alolan Marowak in the lead. So a fairly neutral-ish matchup here, of course. We are going to double resist the fire spin damage. However, Bone Clubs will be super effective. But I actually swap into my Shadow Palkia. We fire off the Aqua Tail straight away as the opponent is going to overfarm quite considerably here. I'm definitely going to shield this. The opponent does full send the Shadow Bone before swapping into a Credilli. Now, we've got such a huge energy advantage. If the opponent isn't careful, I will be able to reach back-to-back Aqua Tails. They no-shield the first one, and I'm able to make it to a second Aqua Tail here as the opponent does overfarm. Aqua Tail number 2 is going to grab that final shield from the opponent, and at this point I can just let the Palkia go down. They go for a Grass Knot here. I'm actually going to come in with my Exeggutor, and I'm able to get the full Dragon Tail farm down. They come back in with the Marowak. I'm just going to play it safe, use my final shield, commit to a full Dragon Tail farm down, and this energy is usually going to be pretty deadly, and the opponent already just going to concede the match there. I don't know what was in the back, probably a Mud Boy or something, but either way, GG's to opponent. And speaking of Mud Boys, we lead into a Gastrodon. So I'm going to say swap into my Shadow Palkia, and again they're staying in, and again they don't throw straight away, so I'm actually able to make it to an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail grabs a shield advantage. However, they're actually just not going to bother throwing at all. Go for a full Mud Slap farm down, which isn't really ideal for me. However, we're going to come in with the Exeggutor, and I'm going to no shield this. The opponent is going to blind throw the Earth Power, which still does about half of our HP, and again you can see my switch clock is coming up, but I wasn't confident I'd be able to swap out in time, so I fire off a double resisted Seed Bomb. The opponent realizing this time it is just going to be a Seed Bomb. It's not going to do much damage, and unfortunately that might be costly for me. We've only got the Turtonator left. I need something weak to fire in the back, realistically. They go for a second fly there. Honestly, they had enough energy for the Brave Bird, so I do respect the damage. But it's going to be a Tentacruel in the back, and unfortunately there's just not a lot we can do here. Dragon Pulse isn't even going to do 50% of their HP. The opponent can fire off a Charge Reef here. At this point we've got no shields remaining. It's actually just an Acid Spray. If we can go for a full Incinerate farm down, we might be okay, but unfortunately we're not able to do so. They actually reach a Body Slam, or actually no, an Earth Power anyways. So we were never going to win that game, but GG's to opponent there. Into the next battle, we see a Starmie in the lead. So again, going to be safe swapping into that Shadow Palkia, and the opponent's going to stay in for quite a while before responding with a Credilli. And once again, with such a huge energy advantage, this is a comfortable matchup for us. We go for the Aqua Tail there. Aqua Tail is actually going to grab a shield, and then we reach another Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail number 2, going to be no shielded. At this point, I'm happy to let the Palkia go down. They shouldn't reach another Charge Root, especially if they full send the Grass Knot, which they do there. So we're now going to come in with the Exeggutor. Actually, one Dragon Tail gets the farm down, so maybe should have come in with the Turtonator, but they come in with their own Turtonator, hitting for super effective damage, whilst they're only hitting for neutral damage, so I can safely shield this up. I expect the opponent to swap out straight away, so I'm actually also going to swap here, because I realize I can shield once, and I will be able to make it to a Dragon Pulse, and Dragon Pulse from this range should actually be enough damage to get the KO, so we'll be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. We've already got a Seed Bomb loaded, so Dragon Pulse does grab that final shield. They can fire for Charge Reef here, but we can just come back in with Exeggutor, go straight for the Seed Bomb there. They're not able to swap out in time. Seed Bomb will, of course, hit for super effective damage. It gets the KO. One more Dragon Tail takes out the Turtonator, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up there into next battle. We see Golisopod in the lead, so this is a fairly neutral matchup for us. I'm going to stay in here. The opponent will be firing off a Charge Reef straight away, and the opponent will be going for a Liquidation. Now, Liquidation does not debuff me. We can go straight for an Overheat, and then I will be swapping into my Shadow Palkia. Honestly, probably could have gotten away with going for a Dragon Pulse, but I was intending to swap out anyway, so I might as well go for the Overheat. We're now going to shield this as the opponent goes for an X-Scissor there before allowing us to fully farm them down. So let's see, the opponent's going to come in with a Morpeko, and I'm going to go and fire for an Aqua Tail just before the opponent reaches a potential Psychic Fangs here. They're probably not running Psychic Fangs. A lot of Morpeko in this meta are on Seed Bomb for the coverage. But either way, the opponent's going to go for a Seed Bomb there, which doesn't really make an awful lot of sense. They definitely should just go for Aura Will, because Aura Will does boost up their attack. However, it doesn't make a difference as they don't even reach another Charge Move. We get the full Dragon Tail farm down, and they had Unnovan Stomfisk in the back. Exeggutor, a complete wall to that Pokemon, so they just concede the match. And into the next battle, we're going to see a Charge Bug in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into Shadow for Alligator, and we're going to come in with our Exeggutor, shield once, and then go for a full farm down. However, Dragon Tail's just barely not doing enough damage. I do wonder if I came in with my Palkia, maybe I could have gone for a full Dragon Breath farm down before tanking a second Charge Move. And there, unfortunately, I expected the charge bug to come back in, so I was going to commit to a Draco Meteor. However, it's going to be an Infestation Araquanid, so I don't even get off any energy at all, which is a huge waste for me, and honestly puts me at a really bad disadvantage here. We are going to no-shield the first charge move. The opponent fires off a Water Pulse there. Going to go for one Incinerate, fire off the Dragon Pulse, and then I'm going to try and catch a Water Pulse onto my Palkia. It's going to be very difficult. However, I'm able to make the catch there onto the Shadow Palkia. But no, it's the Bug Buzz. The opponent able to react in time. Bug Buzz does huge damage. They then get the snipe with the Charger Bug. And this is just not looking good here. Even though Turtonator will resist the typical moveset, we are so low from the Water Pulse already landing that, unfortunately, even if we do live this, I won't be able to Incinerate, farm them down in time. And unfortunately, they can actually go for a resisted Volt Switch farm down, taking out the Turtonator. And unfortunately, we do lose that game. But GG's up over there into the next battle. We see another great lead. The opponent's going to say swap into Azumarill, and this is really awkward for me. We are going to come in with the Executor. We are behind on energy though, and of course they're running Ice Beam. Ice Beam going to hit for double super effective damage. It will very comfortably one-shot us, so this is really not great for us. But we're going to go for a Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is going to be shielded by the opponent. We're now going to double shield here as they go for another Ice Beam. I realize though my switch clock is coming up very soon, so we're going to go and fire off the Seed Bomb there. I was honestly hoping not to throw that charge move there before I swapped out, but I needed to throw there to be able to swap out in time. So we come in with the Turtonator, catch the Ice Beam. They actually come in with the Unnovan Stunfisk, and this is absolutely fine with me. We can fire off the Overheat here. Overheat is going to deal huge damage to the Stunfisk, and they're also going to throw straight away. The opponent goes for the Mud Bomb there. Mud Bomb actually not enough damage to get the KO, but the opponent does not go for a full farm that. Instead, throwing their energy. Either way, I don't think it really matters, as we can come in with the Executor. We could have tanked the Mud Bomb fairly comfortably. The opponent's going to come back in with the Azumarill. I'm going to overfarm here, farm up two back-to-back Seed Bombs here. Seed Bomb probably going to be enough damage to get the KO. Actually, no, they live on 1 HP, so I snipe with the Shadow Palkia. And we're going to see a Galvantula coming back in, but they're just going to concede the match, as with a Dragon Breath energy advantage, we would have been able to just barely outpace them and take that game. So GG's up in there. Into next battle, we see a Ferrothorn in the lead. So the opponent say swaps into Talonflame. We can hard punish them with the Shadow Palkia. They actually bait with a Flame Charge, which is very risky. However, I guess it's pretty obvious Palkia's going to shield anything anyway, so maybe not as risky as it may seem. But I'm definitely going to shield this. They could be on Flame Charge and Brave Bird, but it is going to be a fly there. So good shield. We get the Dragon Breath farm down. They come back in with the Ferrothorn, and I am full sending the Draco Meteor right now. Draco Meteor once again resisted damage, but it nearly gets the one shot, and the opponent's actually going to bank the energy. We're going to come in with Turtonator, but they've got a Toxapex, and this is actually going to be really difficult for us. However, the opponent goes straight for a Brine here, which is fine with me. We can actually tank that pretty comfortably. However, if I'm not able to make it to 3 Dragon Pulses, that might end up being worse for me. So we go for the first Dragon Pulse. The opponent does just let that go through. Dragon Pulse number 2 probably going to be shielded by the opponent. It is shielded by the opponent, and can I reach a 3rd Dragon Pulse? No, we go down as we get the energy there. If we got damage registration error, we could have made it. However, we did not. So we go down, but we were just 1 Dragon Breath away from the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is resisted damage, but it puts them into range where they are forced to throw a charge move, and that is huge for me. Of course, if they bank the energy there, Sludge Wave easily takes out Executor, but now, unless they're on Flash Cannon, we should be absolutely fine, and it's just a Thunder. Thunder is double resisted. We tank that very comfortably, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up in there. Into next battle, we can see another Charger Bug in the lead, and this time they are choosing to stay in this matchup. They're going to throw a Charge Move. Even if they're on Crunch, it's not going to do that much damage, but it's actually a Discharge, which is kind of interesting. They're now going to swap into a Skeledirge. I'm actually not going to swap into my Palkia just yet, because I realize Disarming Voice is going to hit for super effective damage. It would take us out. So instead, going to tank it onto my Turtonator, predicting that they would bait with a Disarming Voice. We're now able to Dragon Breath, farm them down, and because they went for Discharge here, I can now overfarm considerably, fire off the Aqua Tail just as they're reaching the charge move, and we do end up grabbing a shield there. So at this point, I'm also going to shield, commit to a full Dragon Breath farm down. Palkia gets the farm down there, and they come in with a Whiscash in the back. So we can fire off the Aqua Tail here. Aqua Tail should be shielded by the opponent. Actually, no, never mind. It's no shielded by the opponent. So we can come in with Executor, go for the Dragon Tail farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's up on there. Into next battle, we see Alolan Marowak in the lead once again. So I'm actually going to stay in this time. So that is interesting. Not really sure why I'm staying in. I guess we can tank a Bone Club reasonably comfortably. So Bone Club going to be coming through. Now we're going to swap into the Shadow Palkia, and we're met with a Dugong, which is not ideal for us. Unfortunately, they did swap out in time, so I'm actually not able to reach a Draco Meteor before they do reach a potential Icy Wind. And they actually throw at the perfect timing there, just as we're reaching another Aqua Tail. So I actually end up shielding this. I'm hoping the opponent will shield this as well, but let's see. We're going to go and fire off the Aqua Tail, and the opponent actually no shields that. They come back in with the Marowak, then I can go for another Aqua Tail. However, they come in with a Jump Bluff, so potentially should have just swapped out here instead of throwing the Aqua Tail, which is already debuffed and resisted, doesn't do much damage. We're going to come in with the Turtonator, go straight for a Dragon Pulse here. Dragon Pulse is going to be shielded by the opponent, which is absolutely fine. They swap back into the Marowak, and I realize here I can shield once and then go for a full Dragon Tail farm down. However, I will not reach a Draco Meteor, so hopefully we can grab a shield here with this Seed Bomb, but it is double resisted, so Seed Bomb is going to be no shielded by the opponent. That is definitely very painful. However, they allow me to reach another Seed Bomb, and at this point they need to shield because Seed Bomb would come very close to taking them out there, and they're in one Incinerate farm down range. So if the opponent is not on Acrobatics, I think we win this game, but they're on Acrobatics. It does just barely get the KO there, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's opponent into next battle, we see another Charger Bug in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into Gastrodon, and honestly, this is not as comfortable as you'd think. Mud Slaps, they are resisted, but they're honestly doing quite a lot of damage here. And a Body Slam, whilst it was debuffed a few seasons ago, or nerfed, sorry, it still does chunk up against Exeggutor. Exeggutor, not exactly the bulkiest Pokemon around, so I'm actually going to double shield here. They actually full send the Earth Power this time, which is good for me because they might have reached a third Body Slam if they just went straight Body Slam there. But now they come back in with the Charger Bug. I'm going to throw on the CMP tie. They actually go for the Overfarm, but it doesn't matter as Draco Meteor gets the one shot. They've got Credilli in the back, and actually, because we swap out there, I'm one turn behind. Shadow Palkia, this is the first time we've seen it with all shields down, and it gets one shot by the Grass Knot, and suddenly things aren't looking too good for me. We can come in with the Turtonator. Of course, we have seen, well, we've seen Grass Knot. They might be on Stone Edge. The opponent is going to fire for Charge Move. It's just the Rock Slide, however. Now I can farm up to 100 energy, fire off the Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse should be grabbing the final shield. I'm now going to swap into my Exeggutor, force him to throw their energy here, as they have to go for a Charge Move. Otherwise, Dragon Tails would be taking them out. But now we can come in, get the Incinerate farm down, take them out with the Turtonator, and I'm able to take that game. So, GG's up on there. Into next battle, we see a Dugong in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into a Whiscash. We're going to respond with the Shadow Alolan Exeggutor, and the opponent has farmed up to a potential Blizzard, so I'm definitely going to shield, and it is the Blizzard, so we can now just commit to a full Dragon Tail farm down. They will reach another Charge Move, but it's either going to be a Mud Bomb or a Scald. Either way, it's resisted. I don't have to shield that, and I come out with back-to-back Seed Bombs, which is very nice, and enough HP just about to live an Ice Shard there from the Dugong. We can now fire off Seed Bomb number 2. Seed Bomb probably going to grab the final shield, and it does. And so we come back in with the Turtonator. I'm actually going to no shield this. Even if they do go for a Drill Run here, it will not get the KO. The Drill Run is going to be sent there, and they swap into more Pekko. We bank the Overheat, and we come in with our Shadow Palkia. So I'm going to shield this. The opponent goes for a Psychic Fangs bait there. Doesn't really matter too much. It means I can't really overfarm by much just because they will actually make it to another Charge Move. But Aqua Tail gets the KO there, and all we have to do is put them into range where an Overheat from my Turtonator will get the KO. And after this Aqua Tail, they're certainly going to be in that range there. They go for the farm down, but we've got the Charge Move banked. Overheat will be overkill in this matchup as we full send it, taking out the Dugong, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's top and they're into possibly the final battle of this video, leading into a Shadow Kingdra. So I'm going to say swap into my Shadow Palkia, and we're met with a Ferrothorn, which is definitely not ideal for us. But once again, I can actually win this in the 2 shield scenario. However, I think I'm just going to play out the 1 shield scenario, get them fairly low to the point where maybe we can come in with our Exeggutor and go for a Dragon Tail farm down. However, this time I'm thinking actually they're probably going to swap out straight away after I come in with my Turtonator and then come in with the Exeggutor. So I'm actually going to let the Palkia go down here, come in with the Turtonator, get the farm down, and then swap immediately into Exeggutor. And they do. They swap into Skeledirge, and we are ahead on energy. We can go straight for a Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb is resisted damage. However, it grabs the final shield anyways, and this is absolutely game over. I can just safely no shield. Disarming Voice will be taking us out. We can come in with the Turtonator, possibly commit to a full Incinerate farm down, but I might not even need that. Instead, shooting up the Disarming Voice, farming up to 100 energy. I think I could have got the farm down there, but there's no need to take any risk. Kingdra doesn't have much energy. I'm able to make it to a Dragon Pulse and super effective damage up against a Shadow Kingdra. Dragon Pulse gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.